All the phones in the world should include this feature. It's a secondary screen. We have the main one over here, and then on the other side we have this secondary screen. But wouldn't it just be a small screen to simply see notifications and not much else? In this case, it's a fully functional screen. It's touch sensitive. We can play games and do many things directly here, which is one of the best features for me. We'll be able to use it in mirror mode when taking photos and creating content. This is the Ulefone Armor 30, a very unique product. And if you want to know all its features, what I like the most, and what we didn't like about this Ulefone Armor 30, you already know. You have it right here at TechGround. Let's begin. The Ulefone Armor 30 Pro is our focus today. As you can see, this is not a conventional or regular phone. The rugged phone size already hints at its intended purpose and capabilities. It's a rugged phone that's really aimed at a specific type of person. Someone who wants practically infinite battery life and, above all, wants an ultra-resistant phone that can withstand all kinds of drops, can be submerged, and can take all sorts of hits. Let's focus on the main feature, its long-lasting battery, which we'll discuss in more detail later. It can easily last several days on a single charge. And also, as I mentioned at the beginning, the topic of its second screen, which is going to be one of the main features of this phone. Let's start with the phone's aesthetics, and little by little we'll reveal all these unique features it has, alright? We have a phone that is quite heavy. It's 509 grams, which means more than half a kilo. It's noticeably heavy. Its dimensions are 181.3 by 84.9 by 21.2 millimeters, as you can see, 21 millimeters thick. Typically, a normal phone is less than 10 millimeters thick, usually around 9 or 10 millimeters. It has a very sturdy finish. It looks very, very solid. And we find that on the right side, we have the volume up and down buttons and the power button, which will also be the fingerprint sensor, where we can register our fingerprint and unlock the phone. And at the bottom, we have the first auxiliary button. This type of phone usually has extra buttons that we can configure however we want. This button comes preset as the camera button. That means when we press this button directly, I'm going to hold it down. Here, it will open the camera directly, and once we press it, it will capture the image right away. While that's the default, we can customize it as needed. If we go to the other side, we find another little orange button, which is another auxiliary button that we can also set up with whatever functions we want. I find it super convenient to turn the flash on and off with just one touch, but we can set it up however we want. With a single tap, you can activate whatever you want. With 2 taps, whatever you want with a long press, meaning if you hold it down, it activates the function you choose. Depending on your user profile, you can set it up however you want. We also have the slot that allows us to use 2 SIM cards and a micro-secure digital card at the same time. We can have both dual SIM and a micro SD card. The pin connector is located at the bottom. Ulefone has a lot of accessories that are compatible with their phones, and all of them would be attached to this pin connector. We're talking about accessories like endoscopes, microscopes. Well, they have a wide variety, and we've already seen many of them on the channel. The 3.5mm jack connector on the top is covered to ensure the device's IP protection. And we also have the infrared sensor. On the bottom part, we have the USB-C connector, which would also be covered. If we go to the back, we find a rather peculiar back, quite different. First, at the top, we have the triple camera module, and right in the center, we have its speaker. Another key feature of the device, which I hadn't mentioned, is its 118 decibel speaker. In the tests, you'll hear how amazing it truly sounds. And also inside this speaker, there's an LED that will light up to the rhythm of the music. And right at the bottom, since we don't have this secondary phone screen, which is exactly a 3 or 4 inch screen with a resolution of 412 by 960, and it would be an in-plane switching screen covered by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It's a fully functional screen. That is, we'll be able to open our apps here, play games. Absolutely, everything we can do on the main screen, we'll also be able to do on this secondary screen. And I, for example, have been testing it quite a bit. I've been playing games directly on the secondary screen. I've been doing a lot of things that really don't make sense in day-to-day life. So basically, to be able to test the functionality of this screen. And in fact, this screen has several modes. For the video, I set it so that both are activated simultaneously, okay? But for me, the one that has the most functionality or makes the most sense is the Smart Dual Screen. That is, depending on which side we're using, one activates, and if we flip it, the other one activates. Is the one that makes the most sense. If the phone is face down, we can see all notifications and information on this secondary screen. And also, as I was saying, the feature that I think is the best is for content creators. Because we'll be able to use this screen as a mirror, we'll be able to see directly what the camera is seeing, so we'll be able to perfectly frame the shot and see ourselves much better when creating these videos, photos, etc. In fact, I've also tested videos on this secondary screen, and although it's not the main purpose, it looks pretty good. Even though it's not much of a revolution, I'll leave you with a short video. Now let's focus on the main screen, which is overshadowed by the secondary one. We've concentrated more on the secondary screen since it's the new feature. Moving on to the main screen, we have a 6.95-inch display. It's quite a large screen. In-plane switching liquid crystal display screen with 120 Hz. The navigation and interaction with this screen truly showcase its 120 Hz refresh rate, responding exceptionally well. The resolution is 1080 x 2460 pixels with a pixel density of 387 pixels per inch. It also has Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The screen-to-body ratio is 74.5%. The screen-to-body ratio is not high, which is common in rugged phones. This is basically because they set the screen deeper inside and leave bigger bezels, which are what protect the screen in case of drops, impacts, and so on. They sacrifice aesthetics to have the screen much better protected by leaving that margin. Let's discuss the speakers, which I already noted were a key feature of this Armor 30 Pro. That's because it has a speaker capable of reaching 118 decibels. It sounds spectacular, especially from a phone. I'm not going to tell you it sounds like an external speaker because it doesn't, but for a phone speaker, it sounds spectacular. I'll leave you with an audio test. The phone comes with Android version 14, but they haven't confirmed that it will be updated to Android 15. We'll have to see if that's the case. And inside, we find the MediaTek Dimensity 7300X. It's a MediaTek processor that's very common to see in this type of phone. And I have to say that even though it's not the most powerful in the world, all the features and all the games we've been testing have performed perfectly. We've been testing games like we always do with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with Asphalt, multitasking. We've run different tests on it and the phone has responded well, and the 120 Hz screen makes a significant difference for gaming. I've also tested playing these games directly on the secondary screen, projecting both main and secondary screens simultaneously. Despite using more resources to project on both screens or play on the secondary screen, the phone responded perfectly. The actual RAM of the device is 16 GB, but it also has 16 GB of virtual memory that can be expanded. I always have them enabled, and honestly, when I disabled them, the phone also worked fine. But since we have such a large battery capacity, I always keep them enabled. And speaking precisely about the battery, it's another main feature of the device. We have a device with 16,800 mAh, almost nothing. The battery performance is spectacular. On some days, I've heavily used the device for gaming and running tests, and the battery lasted the entire day. 13%, 14%. And this is obviously going to depend a lot on how you use the device, but you can get up to a week of use. Perfectly fine for a user who uses it normally. Obviously, if you push it hard and play a lot of games and watch a lot of videos and so on, you might get about 4 days of battery life, but for a normal user, you'll easily get a week of battery life. The device charges at 66 watts, so that's not bad at all. And it also has reverse charging or reverse charge. I'm not exactly sure how you say it, but basically we can use this device as a power bank. That means if we have a friend who's running out of battery or some other accessory like headphones or any product that needs charging directly, we can connect this phone to the other phone or to the headphones or whatever product it is, and they can charge directly from this phone. Now let's discuss the cameras, beginning with the front-facing selfie camera. It's a 32 megapixel camera that can record videos in 1080p at 30 frames per second. It's not one of the best features of the phone, okay? In fact, I'm going to show you a short video test. Front camera video test in daylight conditions. This is its appearance and sound. In well-lit conditions, the phone's camera performance is decent but not outstanding. But what's the good thing about us having our little screen on the back? We'll be able to do without our selfie camera and use the main camera, the main module, directly as a selfie, because we'll be able to see ourselves at all times on this screen. This gives the device a lot of versatility and, as I said, allows us to do without the main selfie camera. The main module has 3 cameras, including a 50 megapixel primary camera, another 64 megapixel camera, which is responsible for night vision. Then a 50 megapixel wide-angle camera will be added. When it comes to video, it is capable of recording videos in 4K at 30. The video is available in both 720p and 1080p at 30 frames per second. It would have been interesting to see 1080p at 70 frames per second. While I was talking, different photos have been shown, images taken with the equipment, so you can judge for yourselves. The result, considering the phone type, is quite good, but I want you to have it and judge for yourselves. Now I'll show you the same test as before, but using the main camera instead of the front camera. Alright, now a video test using the main module, taking advantage of this screen it has, which we can use as if it were a selfie mode. As I mentioned, I believe the outcome is quite satisfactory. I'll also show you some night images when cameras struggle the most. But I think even so, despite the nighttime conditions, the camera handles it pretty well, okay? As I mentioned, I will show you various images and videos for you to assess on your own. Now let's move on to the front camera test in nighttime conditions. This is how it would look. And now the same selfie test you just saw, but in this case using the main module and using the little screen to take the selfie. And well, to conclude, it's a very complete device. It's not for everyone, this won't fit in just any pocket. So, if you're someone who's interested in a rugged phone, this could be a very good option to consider. It's a completely durable phone. We've submerged it, dropped it, and struck it with a hammer. The phone can handle it all, making it a worthy option for fans of this type of device. The price of the device? Prices vary between Amazon, AliExpress, and other retailers, but expect to pay around 400 to 500 euros. Later, there are promotions on AliExpress, Amazon, etc., but generally that's the expected price range. So that's all, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video. Down in the comments, I'll be reading all your comments, and remember to subscribe to stay up to date with everything. See you next time. Bye. Thank you.